Hi, I wanted to show you a little flip through of what the Vintage Eclectic Nature Junk Journal Kit looks like. I'm going to show it to you on the screen first, and then we'll go through what it looks like printed and give you some tips and tricks when printing this. So Vintage Eclectic Nature Junk Journal Kit was basically inspired by nature. It has a lot of um, wildflowers, watercolor, butterflies, moths, just different insects, mushrooms, and other nature elements kind of mixed in. But it's a little um, slightly, very slightly gothic. It has some more darker colors in there, but there's still some really bright, pretty vibrancy to it as well. I want to say it's a dark, vibrant collection. In this collection, you get 40 printable pages, so you actually have 40 sheets that can print out on 8.5 by 11 one-sided. Of course, you can double side out your papers if you like to as well. Just use a good quality paper if you are going to print double-sided. You're going to have a total of 178 different elements, which are going to include um, each of your single papers, which is a half sheet, 8.5 by 11 half sheet. You're going to end up with 60 pages altogether, or 60 single-sided pages, and 118 pieces of different ephemera. So you're going to get 2 cover images, which you can see on the screen now. You're going to get 12 tickets, 16 stamps, 9 washi strips, 3 torn strips, 9 mini cards, 12 labels, 11 round cards or tags, whatever you want to use them for, 7 traditional looking tags. You're going to get 11 miscellaneous, just little embellishments, flowers and things that you can cut out. You're going to get 12 regular size or bigger sized cards. You're going to get 4 corners, 3 pockets, and then 3 pocket papers to go in those pockets, and 4 tabs. And we're going to go through each one of those so you can see them. And I will also go through how I use them or how I print them and everything. So right now you're looking at the 2 covers, 2 cover options. You can also use it as a sheet of paper, one of your pages, but this is what I would consider 2 cover options that if you wanted to put on your cover. Um, the next are, we're just going to go through now the different pages. So this one you can see, like I said, nature inspired, more wildflower painting, a little tattered and everything with the really nice center. I would prefer this to be maybe an inside cover. My inside covers, I usually like to put something like this, like a blank area, so that you can write something, a dedication or something on the inside cover of a book. So I usually do one that has some sort of plate in there. And then we'll just flip through the rest of the different pages. And like I said, you can see it's a kind of like a dark, vibrant colors, nature with mushrooms and wildflowers and watercolor splatters. So I kind of try to fussy it up a little for you so that you get that little bit of a grungy look, some tattered laces, just all kinds of different tattered papers and wildflowers that you get through this. And like I said, there's basically 30 sheets of just paper alone. So we have some bees, plenty of room for writing, some that come already with lines on it for journaling, moths and dark colored flowers. You see these ones get just a little bit darker in paper. And I use a bit of a vignette on the ends of it just to give you that already kind of tattered look to everything. Some folded wax paper looking things, some pressed flowers, so a look of pressed flowers. Again, more laces, birds, butterflies, ferns, kind of like a little smashed sort of watercolored bugs. Right, so that is all of our papers, and now we're going to get into our elements. So like I said, you're going to get stamps here, and the reason I did the background a little darker is because they are white stamps. With this collection, you will get 3 versions. You will get a PDF version, which we're looking at now, a PNG version, which I would recommend using on your die cut machines, and you're going to get a JPEG version just because some people prefer JPEG sometimes, photo-wise. It's also, when it's a JPEG, it kind of helps when you want to print edge to edge on a printer that can cut edge to edge. You want to use your JPEG so it recognizes it as a photo. Um, if you want to do PDF, PDF is really good for keeping the size proportions. And then your PNG, like I said, is really good for using on your cutting machines, like a Cricut, a Silhouette, or anything like that. Um, but I try to make it so that if you are going to put it on a cutting machine, that you can pull them apart very easily instead of having to try to cut it up too hard. So that's why some of these are going to have a dark background, like this one has a bit of a gray background, so that it can see the lines a lot easier and cut everything really nicely. So as you can see right here, you're going to have 16 different stamps. I recommend that if you want to do this sheet here, maybe printing this one on sticker paper, or even separating it out and doing just some of these pieces on sticker paper, because you have the stamps, you have the washi strips, and you have the little torn strips and little cards. You have 2 rows of tickets. You can write on them. If you put them through on the Cricut or anything else like that, you could add text to them. I did add some text to some of them. It says collect, antique, beauty, renew, magical, nature, natural. And then we have they're like tickets or little tags or labels that I added florals to, really pretty. And then you have just some standard little cutout cards with different florals on it. I love these like kind of medallion looking things, and yes, it's torn on purpose right here on the edge, so don't worry if you print it and you see a torn edge. This is from a vintage, some sort of vintage labels or something like that, so you will see little torn bits here and there. That's actually part of the way it looks, but this is like our mushroom little labels, some round tags, a little book with florals. And don't worry, when you get this, this will be fixed. I know this is really close together. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but that will be fixed before you purchase it. Don't worry, you'll get the corrected file that's not too close together. And then you have your traditional looking tags here. And then some more little card strips that you can tuck into different spots, all kinds of different sizes. We have some traditional cards. You can use these for card fronts to actually make cards if you'd like. You can resize them to make them a little bit bigger if you want to, but they're pretty good for standard smaller cards. You can layer it up to be the center of a card if you want it to, and then also put them into the album as well, for photo spots, things like that. And you get 2 sets of those. And then we have, again, I did a dark background so that any machine can easily find the edges. But we have 4 on this left side. It is 4 corners or corner tuck spots. And then this right here is a little flap. It can be 2 things. It can be a flap little tuck area. Sorry about the noise. A flap little tuck area, or you can make it a little folio that goes inside. So you can make it a couple of different things. Some extra little ephemera, another little card with some lace. And then here, these are just ephemera pieces. It's made to look like specimens, butterfly and moth specimens. Just a pretty little lamp thing that I saw that I thought was cute. Some books. This right here, the books, I made them big enough so that if you wanted to, you can actually make that a tuck spot. If you glue just along this left end and the bottom end on a corner, that can actually create a really cute tuck spot. And then this right here is a little 4 up little envelope that you just fold in 4s, and you kind of fold it like a box one after the other, and then you can put stuff inside of it. And then we have another one of those little 4-ups. We have a couple of more butterflies and things that you can cut out with some florals. There's a little button badge thing right here that I put little antique buttons on. Little postcard with a big old butterfly. These little squares right here, these little papers, are sized, including the one that we saw previously, to go in these little 4-ups. And then we have our 4 tabs that you can put in your book. All right, so now that we saw that, we're going to go ahead and take a look at what they look like printed. All right, so this is what it looks like printed on some HP paper. This one's, I think, a 98 or a 96 brightness with an 83 pound 83 GSM. Um, so this one's a nicer weight paper, but it is still just printer paper. But you can still see that the color is pretty good. It's still pretty vibrant. The camera's not picking it up 100% of what it looks like, but it is pretty close of what it looks like on a standard piece of paper. So you can see it's pretty vibrant. It's really nice. Like I said, the paper is a little bit thinner. It's not super duper thick, but it's a nicer weight paper. Now this one, the one thing I recommend that when you print it, make sure that you print it to fit so that it goes within the inside so it doesn't get cut off. I made a little bit of an error and I did it at 100%. And my printer didn't like it that way. It is sized as an 8.5 by 11 with a small border, but for some reason it still cut it off just barely. It actually didn't cut the paper itself. That actually is perfectly lined with where this front panel actually cuts off, but so I try to maintain a border so that you can actually see, so that if yours does give a border or cut it off, that you don't lose anything. So you're not really losing anything. That is the full color of it. But if you do have a printer, like I said, that prints edge to edge, make sure you print out the JPEG so you'll get a full edge to edge that way. So you can see what they look like all printed out. You can still see that it's really good. So depending on your printer, depending on your paper, it's always going to look different. Different printers, different papers give you different looks. So experiment with different ones, cardstock, things like that. I like using like matte photo paper to do it on. It comes out really nice on matte photo paper. If you really have vibrant colors, that comes out really good there. But these colors are pretty good, particularly for making junk journals or mini albums. It gives you still a really good, cute look to it. And everything is centered. The only one that's not centered was that very first page. So I will make a note to make sure that I fix that as well. So you get a good copy. So you can see like this one has a little bit of a cute area to write in. I try to keep themes, and like I said, the reason that these are two different ones because the whole point is for you to cut this in half or fold it in half so that you get two sheets. And like I said, you can print it double-sided or you can print it single-sided. But as you can see, they work out perfectly because right now they're only printed single-sided though, of course. You can see, you can kind of see through it. What I try to always do is make sure that the pages that come in order is so that if you were to print them on top of each other, double-sided, that they make sense together or they don't cause too much of an issue with ink bleeding through. But like I said, once you start getting into some of these darker colors, you're going to want to make sure that your paper can handle double-sided printing as well as your printer being able to handle double-sided printing. One of my favorites has like watercolor edge at the bottom here. I like this one because it has a little bit of a wax look to it. If you wanted to, you could really wax it, give it an even better look. A little bit of a sheer through. This one with the pressed flowers, so it makes it look like you have pressed flowers in your book. Some pretty laces. And then we get into the embellishments, and these are how those are printed. They're nice. You can see a better idea of how big they are compared to my hand. I do have long hands though. So if you, this is the larger Beacon 3-in-1, so you can get an idea of the size of this. So if you have a Beacon 3-in-1, or here's the scissors, if you have those kind of scissors, gives you a little bit of an idea of how big each one of these things are when you see it this way. So like I said, you have the cute little tickets, your washi bits, all the little stamps and the labels and things that we saw. So they're pretty good when they print. Like I said, I'm going to separate this before anybody downloads it. Like I said, when you print, make sure that it is set to fit, because you can see right here it got cut off just an ever so little bit. So I might move that in so that that won't happen either. So I am going to make a quick note that this is too close and this needs to be moved in. So I always make corrections to make sure that you get the best one possible. If you ever see anything, let me know, and then I can make the corrections and you get the new version. You're always encouraged to check out to see if there is a new version of any of my digital items, because I'm constantly adding new versions. So I can see this actually got cut off a little too. So I'm going to move that in just a bit. I'm going to give it just a little larger of a border. Same thing here. I think I need to move these in just a little bit. The rest cut fine. This one got cut off a little bit. So you can see all the prep work that goes into making these. The rest actually came out pretty well. Right there. Right there. Right there, which means this one probably has the same cutoff. Don't worry, it will all be fixed before then. So those are what they look like printed on regular paper. So now I'm going to show you, because I found this fun paper at Michael's, you know, that one store. But you can see the difference between these two. This one has like a shimmery cloud to it. This is a white shimmer paper, and the shimmer seems to have like a bit of a gold dust look to it. So that's why you're getting this kind of shimmery gold look. And this is a light cardstock. It's about a 65 pound, but it's kind of a thin 65 pound. As you can see, it's flowing really good. But do you see that really pretty shimmer? So this is what it looks like printed on that shimmer paper. So I thought I'd give it a try and see how it looks. And it's really nice. And it is centered. My printer isn't the greatest when it comes to printing on cardstock. So just know it doesn't happen with all printers. But I have an Epson EcoTank, one of the smaller ones, and that's what usually happens. So here's the regular printed. This is printed on that shimmer paper again. You can see that bit of a shimmer. I really like the look that it gave though. It gave like a really, really pretty look with it. All right, so here's the regular one. And here's with the shimmer. This one came out really interesting. So because there's so many dark spots, so here, let's compare those ends first. But since there's so many dark areas, you can see how it kind of changed the color almost completely of some of these darker areas. You can see more of the gold and shimmer to it. You can see the difference in the color is significant really with the different papers. So experiment with your papers and things like that. So this one's like almost gold. You can almost not even see that, but I really like the way the edges of all these other ones came out. You can see that shimmer is really pretty. And then again, because these are so dark, these are the originals. And you can see the difference. It gives it that really gold kind of gilded look for these. You can see the difference of experimenting with different papers and what that does for it. And here's those two. And that. So again, this is a shimmer It's a white shimmer paper, and I got it by accident. I thought I was picking up a pack of white cardstock, and it turned out it was a white shimmer cardstock. So you can see the difference between the two and just where the black is all together. You can see like this is a really dark blue, and that dark blue is basically the gold dark areas. Same thing with the book. And this, so you end up with more of a gold brown gilded look in the middle here. And I mean the colors change quite a bit, but it's still really pretty. So experiment with your colors. You'll see the differences that you get, so you can compare them a little bit closer side by side. This you don't notice too much of a difference. These you definitely notice quite a bit of a difference on all of these. And then these, not too much of a difference. You can't really tell too much. It's a little different. So these ones I did actually print so that it fit to the page. So it pulled it in a little bit. That's why none of these got chopped up. But I'm going to make it so that even if it was full size, it doesn't get chopped up, if I can. You can see the difference. Shimmer, not shimmer. So the shimmer will dull it out, but it looks very, very pretty. I mean, you could see it in person. It's really, really pretty with the shimmer too, though. Right, so that is all of the papers. So I hope you like that. If you want to get it, just know that it is $19.99 retail. All right, so just know that it is for sale on its own. You can purchase the whole kit on its own. And like I said, you always get the updated versions free for life. So if I ever change any of the versions or anything like that, I always try to put the version that you're getting in the description. You can always see when it was posted. If I ever create a new version, I will try to always announce that there's a new version, or I've added pages to it or anything like that. You can always check back every so often to grab a new version of any of your downloads. Your downloads never expire. But just know that this kit is also available for the supply gift book class or workshop course that you can get. It's a self-paced course. If it isn't published when you first see this, it will be very soon. But with that course, you basically get this kit for free. The course is $35, I believe. But check the course page, and it's called a supply gift book. And I'll show you the book and what you learn to make, and you get this whole kit included with the course. But this is what you learn to make. This one happens to be Halloween themed because I was making it in, Halloween season. But what this is a whole kit that you can either give to someone or just hold it as a kit for yourself. But it really makes actually a really nice gift for anybody that does like to make junk journals or mini albums. But you learn how to make the whole base of this book. And what this is so that it holds your supplies. So you would put all the papers in here, and it's pretty thick. It should hold just about all those sheets of paper on this side. And then it's made to hold things like flowers or ephemera in here. And then you also have this pop out where you can hold things like washi tapes and pins and little ephemera bits. And then on this side, it holds even more ephemera. Your tickets and your tags and things will all go in here. String, I use a string, that's why it's not in there, but string or whatever else you have in there. So when you actually cut out all of your bits and stuff like that, you would tuck them in here and give it as a gift so that someone has everything already cut out for their junk journal or whatever else they're making. Plus you can use this kit to also decorate this particular book if you want to. As you can see, it's pretty large. It's kind of hard to get it to all fit on here because it is so big. But you learn how to make all of the components of this book, including a bunch of tips and tricks on what to do with it. and how to put it together. So if you want, you can either purchase this by itself or get it with the course, so that we have the course and the pages included. And then don't forget that if you are not already a member of Misfit Crafter Studio, membership is completely free. You just sign up. You can go to the freebie page, you can go to members only page and sign up totally for free. There's no catch to it, but members always get discounts. When something first comes out, you end up with discounts and stuff like that. So you could also get it either by itself with a discount or combined with the course as a discount. But whenever a product first comes out, you get discounts. If excuse me, if you're catching this a little late and the discount's already over, just know all new other things also come with discounts. I cannot guarantee that there'll be a discount when you actually purchase it. But hope you liked it. If you grab it, if you have any questions, let me know.